Yeah. It's your boy JB, live and direct.
Yes.
You know what it is. Come on and join it.
TLC Bobbin with it. What up? It's your boy JB coming at y'all live and direct, man, and you know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, you're watching this on YouTube, man. Y'all do me a favor. Go ahead, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on that bell for notifications so y'all see when we drop one of these bangers, man. I ain't gonna go through a lot of other stuff. We'll do that at the end about in the description, get the merch, blah, 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 blah. Let's jump right into this thing. The topic tonight: why are women running their man off? And boy, we had to get into this thing. But before we get into it, we brought a panelist full of experts on this relationship game. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, man. Y'all know who I got in the building first off and just took over and joined in on the family. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you where y'all can find him at on the socials.
Yes, it's your boy, Big J the Barber, the one and only. You can catch me on Instagram, Big J the Barber, or also YouTube, Big J the Barber as well. I'll let you.
Awesome. Man, appreciate you being on. So I gotta bring my sound effects back for my dog. Gotta bring them back for my dog. You know how it is. Boy, y'all know who we got next. Don't get excited. Sometimes you gotta check the box. Y'all know who we got next. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Tell y'all where y'all can find him on the socials.
What's going on, y'all? Thanks for having me as always. It's your boy TLC. You can find me on Instagram at TLClay1. Tonight I'm doing a Olivia O series. And I'm sipping
nice.
on a couple Sam Adams. I got a Cold Snap and a Summer Ale. So.
Nice. Okay. All right. Hey, look, that's pretty impressive, dog.
Nice out, so.
That's pretty impressive. I'm gonna bring back the clap for you, brother. I'm gonna bring it back for you, man. All right, yeah, you were bobbing to the music, so I gotta give you some props. Big J, what were you drinking, Big J? I forgot. What were you drinking on tonight?
Oh yeah. I'm drinking some fine wine right now. Let me show y'all what I'm working with. Cooper's Hawk. One of my favorites is the Cooper's Hawk Romance Red.
Oh, okay.
Romance Red.
Cooper Hawk.
Yeah, I'm a sweet reds type of guy. I can't do that choking red. So
Appreciate that. Y'all ever see Jay drinking wine? Be careful now. Y'all be careful. Of course, y'all know who I got to round out the panel. My A1 from day one. You know who it is. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Tell y'all where y'all can find her at on the socials.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks, JP, for having me on the call. What's up, fellas? It's your girl Rhonda. You can find me on IG at RMBLMBT. Tonight I had to go with the oldie but goodie since I just got off work, and it's Crown Apple Mule.
Oh, okay, and you got the mug too.
Yes, of course.
Man, I appreciate. Rhonda's always good to have you on the panel. Appreciate it. Always good to have you on the panel. Let me make the haters mad and let it go on a little longer, because yeah, because make my haters mad. Love to have my sister on. All y'all talking about family first, we do it though. We do it. We got the real relationship over here. Boy, y'all know we about to get into this thing. And y'all, hold on. I'm almost out. I'm drinking my 4 Roses single barrel. Just smoking my corn bundle right here. Cause we had to get into this thing pretty quick, so I ain't had a chance to go get something premium like my boy TLC be getting. But man, y'all know we about to jump into this thing. Why are women running their man off? And guess what, guys? We having this. The reason I came up with this topic, man, you seeing a lot of relationships breaking up. And when you get to the crux of it, if you talk to people, we gonna do why men running off their women too. So we got to make sure. We starting off with the ladies, and then we gonna go to the guys next. But I started talking to some of these guys about why did they leave their relationship. Problem ain't never a what, it's always a who. And so we started hearing about some of these things about why women are running their man off. I said, we got to get on a podcast with this. I said, man, It don't matter the current status of your relationship or anything like that. We gonna talk about what y'all hearing as far as dealing with women who are running off their man. Big J, when you got the topic, what came to mind? What was the first one that came? What was the first one that came to mind?
Well, when I got the topic, I said, let me go ahead and jot some little notes down right quick.
Getting serious. The podcast getting serious.
I said, let me see. There's a couple things that run women off, but it's a couple things that actually, men off, because of why the women run the men off, because we're going to get another, right? So one of the things, I can only go off of my previous experiences, but one of the things is just it being a bugaboo. That's one for sure. Not giving enough space,
Okay.
because you got to make sure that you give your man enough space. Like every once in a while, I like to take the motorcycle out and go on like a little ride. If you always complaining and like, why you got to do all that? Or where you going? Oh, you must be going to see something. Hey, slow your roll, pump your brakes. Also, when a woman trying to be too dominant, when you're trying to be too dominant in a relationship, that's gonna clash. Being too judgmental.
How many J right there? How many J?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
J, I'm ready to turn over the moderator. I'm ready to turn over the moderator to you.
Being too judgmental. Oh, hold on. Let me go. Let me say. Insulting the things that you love. Insulting the things that you love. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Getting in the way of his goals or accomplishments. Yes. Oh yeah, because you already know, being in the barber business, I get a lot of guys that I choose to hire, and the first thing that gets them away from their goals is their relationship. You can't build both at the same time. You got to choose. You know what I mean? If you're trying to build a business, you got to make sure that your significant other is with you on that as well. And then also, my last thing that I wrote down is whenever a female gives a man an ultimatum, don't give me an ultimatum.
He gonna dip.
Exactly, because two type of men.
By now, y'all know how to finish that. Saying that's what we go. Instead of Big J the Barber on the screen, it's gonna be two type of men. That's what he gonna put. Kind of how Rhonda changed her name. You know who it is. She got tired of me saying it, so she just. Jay, Jay. Seriously, good thoughts, good points. That's what I want to do. I want to get them all out there, and we're gonna try to hone in on some TLC. Jump in there and let us know, because I know plenty of women that ran you off, because you the player on the panel. So go ahead and tell us how these women that ran you off, dog.
Well, actually, I had the most random of thoughts the other night. So for some reason, this interview came up in my mind that was with Vladimir Klitschko. And for the listeners who aren't sports fans or not boxing fans, he was a Russian heavyweight boxing champion of the world.
Yep.
And in this interview, he was talking about growing up in Russia, and the communism and all that. He was like, when I went to the grocery store, every once in a while I would get a candy bar, but the grocery store only had one candy bar. He was like, that's it. He didn't know of any other candy bars. And in this interview, he was talking about when he came over to America to box, I believe in Vegas. He said he went to the store and he saw all these candy bars. He couldn't believe all the different types of candy bars that were out there. And I thought about dating and relationships. And I don't mean to knock women because, I love the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
And the ladies love you back to you. And the ladies love you back.
Absolutely. There's a lot smart, intelligent, beautiful women out there. But when they have this, I'm a queen, I'm on this pedestal mentality, it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, yes you are, but you ain't the only candy bar out there.
Okay. God, no, we going in, ain't we?
Just saying.
We going in, and the only candy bar. Some people want to Baby Ruth, some people want to Snickers, some people want Three Musketeers, some people want to Payday.
I think some people's mentality of thinking that they're the only one out there chases people off.
Okay, TLC bringing the heat.
TLC tonight. I'm done.
TLC bringing the heat.
Yeah,
please leave so I can take your time. Cause when I bring my list out, y'all gonna be like, God, dog, he done bought it again. I was driving back from Orlando. I said, let me write this list down. I said, I gotta get this thing. I knew everybody was coming with it tonight. Now, Rhonda representing for the ladies now. Rhonda, look, people get on your table. You deal with a lot of women in relationships that go through relationship problems. Main reason they're on your table because that stress in that relationship got them all bound up. Tell us what you hear about why women running they man off.
Well, because they do need that quality time. We as women, that's the way, that's the way you got to show. Like, it's not all about the physical every single time. And speaking of candy bars, that candy bar is probably the only one that'll take that particular man. So they don't have so they have to stay. And I'm trying not to bob, but it's hard not.
Yeah, but you bobbing though. You bobbing.
But no, I think the main thing women want is to know that they are special to you, that they feel important to you. And sometimes that scare men or guys. And it may make their man run away, but that's just because they're not ready to be in a relationship. But also a woman, they just need to know that they're that special one. They just need to know that they're it for you. They don't have to be put on a pedestal, but they do need to know that they are the special one and preferably the only one. But that's not how it is in today's society. So, because there are candy bars, but if it's Butterfinger, why would you want it? Back to you.
TLC done bought the candy bar in there. Jaden bought his list. I like the candy bar analogy. Y'all got to pay attention to the chat. Y'all got to pay attention to the chat when y'all got to look at the commentary that's coming in on the chat as we do this. But man, I got to tell y'all know my list. Y'all know my list. I think Jay gonna love this because if you ever have any females in the shop, I'm always pissing all the ladies off in the shop because I remember one thing I got taught. I got told one time. I got told something a while ago in corporate America when I was with the VP of the company. We were at the Gaylord Palms over in Orlando. And that man told me, he said, Jeff, every failure is a failure. Every failure in a relationship is a failure of the woman. Knock my socks. Because I've never heard anybody say that ever. Now, when you go to church, every failure in the house is a failure of the man. But this VP of sales in corporate America.
Relationships are 50-50.
Yeah, yeah, get in one. You'll see. But anyway, look. Here's the funny thing, though. And that's what I thought about when I was driving by the Gaylord Palms on my way back to Tampa today. I thought about the VP of sales telling me that in that hotel, we were at the North American Veterinary Conference, and he tells me that. And I'm like, nobody's ever said that. I'm sitting here, man, my mama ain't never do nothing to my daddy, right? That's what you're thinking, right? My mama perfect. Ain't nowhere in the world, right? But here's my list so we can get into this thing. Trying to make up for what her mother didn't do. Trying to make up for what her mother couldn't accomplish, right? Once children come in, the man becomes a child just like the other adolescents in the house. Coddling him when he's down and attacking him when he's winning. Or like Jay said, you get a new opportunity and you know that now you jealous because you're afraid that if he get a new opportunity, his desire gonna change from you. Okay? Of course, nagging and complaining. Here's the deal now. Not serving his vision and goals. Not about serving him, serving his vision and goals. If he doesn't have vision and goals, why are you with him? Right? Misidentifying boys and thinking you got a man. So now you acting like he a man, but he never told you he was that in the beginning. So now you just like Jay said, right? You just all up on him because that's what you got to do with little children. At a daycare, you got to at a daycare, children don't get free time. Somebody got to always be watching them, right? So yeah, you ain't gonna let him go out on the motorcycle because you know where he going. He going somewhere else, right? Eh? Nice. And here's the big one, guys. Here's the last two I got. Comparing the current man to the old man, or trying to be tough because the old man dogged you out, and you're gonna make sure that the new man don't do the same thing to you. So now you treating the new man with all the trauma you got from the old man. And then my last one, being on two different professional levels. If everybody saw the story about Ebony K. Williams, who's an attorney, who's on the reality show. They asked her, would she date a bus driver? She said if he owned the bus, right? Everybody coming at her for what reason? For what reason? What they gonna talk about? If he the bus driver and she an attorney, what y'all talking about at night?
Nothing.
Nothing. All y'all doing is looking at him.
How
Go ahead,
hard
Ronald.
it is to drive the bus.
But look, here's the funny thing. The reason why that made people mad, and I want to come back to Jay. The reason why that situation made people mad. All of us keep talking about we want somebody when we down. But the worst thing that can happen to you is somebody that love you when you down. Because a woman is an amplifier, which means if she loves you when you down, guess what's happening to your downness? It's gonna get worse. You need her to leave when you down. You don't need her to be there when you down. It's gonna make it worse. But you also, if you are a leader, you don't need to be with a follower. Followers can't understand leaders. Jay, when you hear me say that, what you thinking about that right fast? Because just because we don't have the same title, I ain't talking. Follower mindset need to be with followers. Leaders need to be with leaders. Go ahead, Jay, jump in there.
No, you're absolutely right. Because, like you said, they're not going to understand the way that you have to conduct business. So if you choose to be with someone who is not zoned in to be a leader in their own profession or in their own world, when you come together as one in your little pillow talk in your downtime, they're not going to understand your day. You got to try to explain it to them, and they're going to try to listen to you. But at the same time, if you're not equally yoked, they're not going to understand. And then that situation with the lady that you just mentioned, I mean, not for nothing, like Rhonda said, there's nothing wrong with a bus driver at all whatsoever.
Absolutely, not at all.
Everything
not
is
at all.
good. But I agree with her. I agree with her 100% because at the end of the day, okay, she's talking about uplifting men to be in their higher being. But
Yes.
like, remember when we were saying there's a place for everybody in society. If everybody choose to want to be a leader or choose to want to think that they can be a supervisor or everybody wants to be lawyers, doctors, or different type of professionals, then we won't have McDonald's. You know, we won't be able to pull up to a drive-through and order our meals because everybody is going to think that that's too much under them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
And that's what's happening, Jay. That's what's happening at fast food restaurants right now. Because when we were coming up in the 80s and 90s, nobody laughed at you for flipping burgers because we were all coming over there to get the hookup anyway. Everybody knew who to go ask for money. Everybody knew who to go ask for money if you worked at McDonald's, Hardee's, or Sonic or somewhere like that. Nobody. Go ahead.
No, but that's the same thing like when we was in the military. Everybody knew to go to the supply guy. You know, although you know, supply was just, oh yeah, that's just the guy in supply. But at the end of the day, everybody goes to two people in the military: supply and the person that's cooking their meals. They don't talk no noise about the cook. Because you already know when you're in the military, you're gonna get hooked up by some food and you're gonna get hooked up with your gear.
Absolutely. And TLC, I want you to jump in here, then we're gonna go to Rhonda. Ebony Williams says, is he the owner of the bus? Now, y'all got to understand something. Iyanla Vanzant, who she was talking to, what is Iyanla Vanzant's business? Her whole thing is fix my life, right? So she got people who are at the bottom. And I'm going to tell you like this, man. I done been down and I done been up. I've been down a lot more than I've been up. So I can relate to that guy who you see a woman who looks like Ebony Williams, who's a lawyer, who you got taught you can't have when you're down. She only wants you when your money right. She only care about you. Yeah, go ahead, TLC. Gentlemen, when I see you raise your hand, I know what's about to happen.
It almost ties into the last podcast. It kind of flows into it. Because we were talking about is the media the main piece or the side piece? And when I saw that interview with the lady and the bus driver, it made me think of that. Because all these people were getting upset over what she was saying. And when I saw it, I was like, how does that pertain to me? Like, I don't care what kind of guy she talks to because I don't even know the lady. I'm not. Why would I care? Why would I care?
Let me tell you, TLC, I hate to jump in here and answer your question. The reason we care about it because we identify with the bus driver. We don't identify with the bus owner. Everybody sees the victim in themselves. They don't see the overcomer in themselves. So when she said it, you have gotten taught that the only people real in your life are the ones who were there when you broke and don't have nothing. We don't know. This is what happened. We get taught how to be poor. Nobody gets taught how to be rich. So when you get rich, you go looking, or when you get a level of success, you go looking for what you thought was real. Well, they hate you over there now. Go get a little money, get a nice car, and go back to where you came from. them cats put you in a. They challenge you, man. If you was the real Jeff, man, you go back to how we used to do it back in the day. Back in the day, JB was the first one to take it. What you mean you don't do that no more? Right? Look, y'all know who I'm mocking. Y'all can guess who I'm mocking when we get together, right? But that's the whole point. TLC don't even know who this is. But what you're looking at, TLC, why can't we only identify with the bus driver? Why can't we accept the fact that this lady is a lawyer? Used to have a show on Fox News. She's been on reality TV. What does she have in common with the bus driver? I just said on my list, different professional levels. What he gonna do for her when she get home?
Nothing.
He gonna do nothing, right? Look, she gonna start talking about lawyer stuff, and he gonna be like, "Man, you ain't gonna believe what happened on the bus today."
Okay, somebody the kids talking about when they get home.
The kids thing, yeah, man. Somebody got on a fight on the bus today. Like that's the whole point. Rhonda, what you think when you hear this?
Look, I only heard a little bit of that conversation with the Ebony lady. Of course, you're going to identify based on your experiences and your background with the lower part or something, right? Because we're going to go to what's familiar, which also means it could be offensive because it is so familiar. So, of course, you get your panties all in a ruffle and stuff because it's like it's stepping on your toes, probably reminding you of where you were, not necessarily where you are. I just think any profession that's around has a purpose for it. And it doesn't work for everybody. But I also know, from my standpoint, how you treat me is way more important to me right now than what you do, as long as it's legal. And
hey, look, the illegal cats, they treat you the best now.
But
they treat you the best. Yeah. It's the legal dudes that think they got a spine. But the illegal boys know how to treat you.
And that may be true, right? But I also know, yes, of course, we're going to look at what your title is and what you do for a living and all that kind of stuff. Of course, that goes into play because it's no different than you guys having your wives or girlfriends on your arms and you want them to represent you in a certain way because it does matter how your woman looks when she steps out. She's Stop
right there, Rhonda. You just preached because I want to remind my audience. You just preached, Rhonda. You preached last week when you said if conversations getting shorter with you, they're getting longer with somebody else. But then you just preach because you said, of course it matters what you do. And I keep telling everybody who works for me, who Jay said, because I want to go back to what Jay said at some point. The person who starts a new job, now all of a sudden, if that job starts going good and the person who's in charge starts showing you attention, you go home, you happy, that significant other who don't have the same experience makes you walk away from that new opportunity. Now, why does that matter, guys? People don't fall in love with you. People fall in love with what you do. Right? Hey, what's your name? I'm Jeff. What you do? I'm a janitor. Okay, man, nah. Right? If you don't answer that second question right, something ain't gonna go well. And this is what a lot of women go ahead, Run.
He nice.
Yeah. Right? Go ahead, TLC.
That made me think about something because I asked my mom, like, how did my grandparents meet? And my mom was like, oh, well, your grandfather, he was raised on this farm. And your grandma was raised on this farm over here, and they used to go to school together. They used to walk to school together. And I'm like,
yes,
back then, your circle was so small that
no, but both of them had farms. Both of them had farms. Old McDonald had a what?
Still, though,
right? Both of them had a farm.
It's like you knew the person. You grew up with the person. You were around the person. It's not like that nowadays. You don't really interact with people that you
TLC for full disclosure though. Stop. For full disclosure, we got to go into this thing now. Your dad, what's your dad's profession?
He's a doctor.
Okay, what's your mama's profession?
She was a nurse. They met
Absolutely.
They met at a hospital though.
They met at a hospital, right? I want y'all to understand this, right? That profession matters. The compatibility of profession matters, right? So at the end of the day, both of them got a professional license to lose. Both of them can go to jail if they overdose somebody. Both of them had certain guidelines they had to live by in order to walk in agreement. Jay talked about equally yoked. Guys, that's equally yoked. The daddy is a doctor. The mama is a nurse. And then TLC has such a great life that he ends up meeting losers like me. And what was on him got transferred on me. I tell TLC that all the time. TLC used to feel bad. TLC used to feel bad. I was like the stray dog at summer camp, right? You know, I can barely afford to be there. You know, when you show up at the place and your tank on E, right? That's how I used to show up. But what happens is, guys, y'all got to understand that the reason I wanted TLC to divulge that information, professional careers matter. Go ahead, TLC.
The topic isn't what attracts people together; it's what repels people.
What runs you off? So guess what? Your daddy didn't get with the receptionist. Your daddy didn't get with the receptionist. Your daddy did not get with the Medicaid clerk who filing the invoices. He got with the nurse.
Got with the doctor.
Well, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna tell you like we don't know, but here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. I hope Torrance' parents ain't listening to this because we might have to head them on so they can clear up how they met. You know, we just up here talking. But I'm glad you brought that up, TLC. But what we're talking about, guys, is the professional part of this matters. You spend 40 to 60 hours a week in your profession. If this person doesn't understand what you did, y'all don't have to be on the same level, but there has to be some compatibility. And that's why if I'm not a leader, I understand leaders, right? I need to find somebody who understands leaders. I need somebody to understand that I'm always going to be on my phone. I need somebody who's going to understand that I'm always going to be answering emails. I got it. Hey, man, we got to act like this when we walk in here. These people think I like them. So here's what you need to do, TLC. If you let that conversation take place when you married and you own some stuff and you sit in that car, hey, here's who we about to see now. And look, this is what they going through. So if they say something, act surprised. You don't know nothing.
Is that true, Big J? Is that true?
Of course it's true.
Two type of men.
But Jay, when you hear me talking about professionalism and we don't fall in love with who you are, we fall in love with what you do. What do you think when you hear that statement?
I think a couple of things. I can just give you some examples. Prime example, one of my previous ex when I was in high school, she was a model for YM 17 magazine, you know, back in the day. I'm saying my ages and stuff. Little videos that used to come out, Jay-Z video and different stuff like that, right? And she used to tell me sometimes, she said, you know, well, why don't you treat me like everybody else treat me? I'm like, last I checked, I'm not a rapper. What's the word? No, last I checked, I'm not a shoot. I'm losing my train of thought. What's somebody who
we got on the topic of exes? His memory didn't follow me.
I know, right?
All that trauma coming up.
I know, right?
All that trauma coming up.
Oh man, I just lost my
her person, her representative.
I'm not. No, the people who actually just go to watch the show.
Oh, a spectator. You're not just in the audience.
Well, yeah, like a spectator or just
your audience member.
Right. I'm not. Anyways, it'll come to me later, man. I'm messing up over here. But
it's that sweet red kicking in. It is.
Hey, but look, that's how you know this thing ain't edited. It's straight off the top of the dome. But regardless of the case, she used to be like, why you can't treat me like them? And I'm like, well, last time I checked, I'm your significant other. So why should I be treating you just like them? I already know who you really are. They just knowing you off of what you bring to the table and what they see. They don't know who you are. You know what I mean?
Just preach? Hold on, Jay. I got to stop. Did he just preach? Lord, that line that hit you. I know who you really are. Boy, that's the worst line somebody can ever say to you. Because at that point, Jay, you just preach.
Yeah, so it just
who you really are.
Yeah, so it just pushed me away because I'm like, well, man, you're not caring about what I bring to the table or just, you know, who I am as an individual. You caring about who you see out there that's bringing you attention. That
absolutely,
if they know who you really are, they wouldn't be giving you this attention. If you wasn't a YM or a celebrity like that, you wouldn't be getting this attention. So
absolutely,
that's just one thing. And then another thing was my previous. I had a relationship where I was with a doctor. Y'all know I ain't no doctor, so you know at the end of the day, I'm in competition, you know, with doctors who's like, oh yeah, you could take my yacht down to Miami, Ben, you know, and watch the Dolphins play. I don't got no yacht. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, like you had mentioned, it's like, okay, what brings you to the table is of being compatible. So the thing that she seen in me was I was a leader outside of the realm of what she does.
But
So
guess what? Jay? But guess what? I remember that. And she also hated being a doctor. She
Yeah.
wanted to connect with somebody who did not have this doctor mentality because she was meeting a lot of inauthentic people.
yes.
So she had this title of doctor, which means I got to stay in this position, but I want to connect with somebody who's not a doctor outside of work. I'm looking for authenticity.
Yep.
And that's, look at what he said. The dude said, look, take my yacht down to Miami, right? Take my yacht down to Miami. Now, when you don't have that, what you got to say? Hey, man, you know what? If that's what you all about, girl, you know what? I thought this was about what was real, right? Now, when you the guy
No,
who
that-
can afford the yacht, right? It just flows so easy. You know, when you ain't got no money, you got to spit game. It takes practice to spit game.
But see,
And
Big
that's why
J
these
the Barber,
rappers gotta have,
remember I said that Big J the Barber just replies that when we going.
yeah, I go with it.
Right.
You know, two type of men like
Two
oh
type
he
of men.
said take his black. Oh, when we going? You got 2 tickets?
Mhm.
All right, man.
Yeah, right. It was just like when we met Robert Kraft. First thing he said, y'all want to roll with us down to the Bahamas tomorrow? Nah, man, we got to go home. Right? Like, it didn't know how to actually act in that moment. Right? Didn't know how to actually act in the moment. I'm glad Jay brought that up, because I think one of the things we can definitely focus on this panel is that profession is going to run people off, because no matter who's the upper hand in that profession level, they're treating the person who's lower as though they don't matter. And typically right now you got women who are winning. Like TLC said something at the beginning. I want to hone in on that, TLC. I want you to bring that back. They're not the only candy bar. Why you got to say I'm strong, independent, don't need nobody, blah, 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 blah. And you don't realize how much that runs guys off. Ain't nobody trying to get you to be lesser than. But at the end of the day, I also don't want somebody to compete. As a business owner, I got to go out and compete every day. When I come home, I want compatibility. I don't want competition. And a lot of people don't understand. As a business owner, I'm competing every hour of the day. When I come home, I want a compatible person and a cheerleading person. Because Deion Sanders' son, Deion Sanders Jr., he has an opening hook. I walked around. I took L's, but walked around like I was undefeated.
Oh, that's
Right?
a good line.
He said, I took L's, but I walked around like I was undefeated. How do you do that? You got to have somebody at home who, when you walk in, they ain't disappointed. Right? Like, now, you sitting out in your driveway and don't want to go in. Right? When we talk about the two type of people in the house, there's people who love the house because they running it. And like Jay say, there's the person who's sitting out in the driveway because they running around it. Right? You don't ever want to go around. Jump in and let me know what you think. Then TLC, I want to come to you.
Listen, all I know is this. Yes, professions, they do make a difference. Unless the woman is going to be the stay-at-home wife or the stay-at-home mom. I think that's the only time that it may not even be too big of an issue where, as far as where profession is, because the roles have been established. Like, this is what this person is going to do. But as a person who is dating or something like that, of course that's going to matter. And if you are going to make somebody feel lesser than, then maybe you don't need that person. But I know a woman,
stop right there, Rhonda. Stop right there.
will make that man be what she wants them to be, no matter how hard she tries. It's not going to change them, but women will do that. They will try to make that man be something that they're not. And especially in front of their girls, like, so stop it. So, I mean.
But stop right there, though. That past trauma that I talked about in the beginning. That past trauma that I talked about in the beginning, guys. Women are running men off because he's not what you want him to be, because he don't like you.
He like your.
A lot of women got to understand, men are simple. If I like you, I'll become what you want me to be. If I don't like you, man, look, dog, I care less what you say, right? And this kind of goes back to the fact that a man is simple, and a man loves to be able to meet goals and to meet challenges. If I say I'm going to do something, it's simple. I do it, right? Jay came on this podcast. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to be on the podcast. Okay. I give him the link. He shows up, right? We forget how simple people are. Do you do what you say you're going to do? And I think one of the things we see oftentimes is that the woman is running the man off because the man has potential. Some women want to stop it and make sure he don't do anything. And I think we need to jump in on that, because there's a lot of dudes right now who done got with this woman, and the woman sees the potential before he does. And what does she become? She becomes the biggest enemy of his success. TLC, jump in there and let me know what you think when you hear that. I know you know some people like that.
When you were talking about running people off, I started thinking about cell phone calls. And there's, as Big J said, there's two types of men. There's two types of
Yes.
cell. There's,
I'm the second
there's
one.
two
I'm the
types
second
of
one.
cell phone calls. Sometimes you look down at your phone, you see who's calling, you're happy, you're excited, you done had a long day.
Yes, TLC.
That's a great phone call. But then sometimes you look at your phone and you like, oh hell.
Man, what she want?
Yeah.
What the hell she want now?
And that's
Ignore.
a terrible spot to be in. And that's what drives men off is, you know, you might not have that conversation with her, but it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to take this phone call.
Women, but TLC, I'm glad you said that. Look how simple that is right there, ladies. If y'all listening to that, look at what this man just said. When I look down
I'm
at my
not talking about
phone,
me personally.
do I
I'm talking about
smile?
in
Yeah,
general.
absolutely.
Yeah, for the
You
ladies.
talking
Yeah,
these other
yeah,
cats out there.
yeah,
You talking about these
yeah.
other cats.
Yeah, there you go. In
Yeah,
general.
but ladies, listen to that. If I look down at the phone, 'cause guys, we coming at y'all next. This is why the women are running men off. The next one gonna be why men are running women off. But look at what TLC said, ladies. I look down at my phone. Do I move heaven and earth to pick up because I want to hear your voice? Or do I hit ignore? And what you got to understand, why would a man hit ignore? Right? Why would a man hit ignore? Because you don't understand that man. And you better know, especially with us who all work during the day, if you call me during the day and you understand me, it better be something, right? It better be something, you know, hey man, you don't call me asking me where's the leftovers in the fridge. What? Like, look, but what you'll find is a lot of people just want to interrupt your day. Why? Because that goes to the profession.
You ever have
That
someone
goes to the
call you and
profession.
ask you for something they could just Google? Like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
They want
Absolutely. And it's fine in the
Oh,
beginning.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine in the beginning when the fairy tale, when it's the fairy tale time. Oh my God, she calling me, you know. Oh
Yeah.
man. 6 months later, this dumb chick can't Google it.
because
Right.
that's what works. Why she got to be dumb? But that's what works. That's what works. That's what worked in the beginning. Y'all will
Right.
take that little fluffy stuff
Mhm.
because y'all trying to GTD, trying to
Rhonda.
get the draw. And
Rhonda, and get that GTD. What'd you say GTD stand for, Rhonda?
Get the
Y'all-
draws.
Rhonda, what GTD stand for?
And-
Get the draws. She got the draws, dog.
But you know that stuff works. But you wouldn't dare respond like that when you're trying to get to know somebody because at the end of the day, there's an end goal. And so if y'all think women are trying to run the man off, it's because he was being fake up front. And I know we got to say that tweet.
No. They were, but Rhonda, they were both being fake up front. The woman is just better at being fake.
Well,
She perfect. She perfect in the beginning, and then it's Dr.
it's the
Jekyll and
same for
Mr.
the
Hyde.
dude.
Rhonda, look, how many dudes you see on Snap? How many
Well,
dudes you
Snap
see
is
on
geared
Snap?
towards women killing guys. Okay,
They can't make a show where
But
men
I'm
are
just
killing
saying,
women
look
like
at
that.
what
The
they
women are
drove
killing.
her to do. What they drove those women to do.
No. What happened is she presented herself in one way in the beginning, then she became something else. That's what. No.
They always
Remember,
say-
every relationship failure is a failure of who? Every relationship failure is a failure of who, Rhonda? Remember the theme of this thing.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Me and my
Some
sister
ladies-
about to disagree
ladies
for the
are- some
first
ladies
time.
Are toxic. A lot of ladies are toxic.
Do we need to go back to the toxic relationship one guy? We done preached this thing before, Jay. We done preached this
I
thing
mean, but
before.
it's true. But at the end of the day, though, like we all have a persona when we first meet somebody and want to appear a certain way and think we could do this and do that. But at the same time, I'm not here for any of my friends that are nagging their spouses or their boyfriends or significant others. I don't think it's cool at all. But at the same time, I'm not dating anybody. So, I mean, I don't know how. Like, that's what they do. So I can't.
Now, you're not dating anybody, but is anybody dating you?
It probably in their head.
You might be a player. I don't know. You said you ain't with somebody think they dating you. I gotta ask. You know how it is. You in a relationship, but the person you with ain't in one.
Y'all were out here chasing these hoes. When y'all were out here
No,
what?
they out here chasing what, Ram?
What was y'all treated them with respect. You want to take them out to dinner, to the movies, whatever. Also, you could get to a certain point
Yeah.
with them. But then when they want to cling to you, then you're like, oh man, she crazy, man. And that the first thing guys say, she crazy, man. Like, oh, what's wrong with her? Right, Big J?
Yes.
Laughing.
Right, but
It's
But Rhonda, I like what you said though. Look at what happens because remember, guys, we talked about social media being the main piece and the side piece. We talked about toxic relationships. We talked about being overcoming, being stabbed in the back. All these things are rooted in deception. See, at the end of the day, guys, I said it on the last podcast. Relationships should not be work. When I go out, I enjoy the people I go out with. Right? I enjoy it. We joke, we fucking get we have banter back and forth. Sorry. We have banter back and forth. Four roses kicking in. But yeah, look, guys, look, at the end of the day, I had to learn how to understand that there's me, there's the other person. Here's what I value. Let me learn what they value, and let me cater to that. Right? Now, what you make a mistake is you want that person to cater back to you. But I cater to myself, which puts me in a position of overflow. Now I have enough to cater to somebody else. But you can't have two deficient people getting together. Why do women run men off? Deficiency. Deficiency, but trying to act like they're not deficient. A woman is an amplifier. What are you amplifying? If you don't know what the man has to bring to the table, TLC remembers when we were in Miami. And there was that group of ladies that showed up and we were out there getting tight down.
Not in my recollection.
You remember?
I don't remember
TLC?
Miami. No,
Y'all don't remember.
I don't remember Miami.
TLC, remember? We were sitting down in Miami and down in Cuba. What was it? Chinatown. We were down in Chinatown or wherever it was, TLC, and you wanted a Cuban sandwich. That was the only reason we were down there. Because TLC wanted a Cuban sandwich. So you go to Little Havana. TLC ain't got to remember it, but I'm going to tell you the story. We were so lost. TLC down there posing for a picture, smiling in front of the dude who done got killed in some Revolutionary War. Everybody wondering why is TLC smiling in front of this statue? Little Havana. Remember we were in Little Havana?
Statue of what's that guy's name?
I can't remember the guy who it was, but you remember we were down in Little Havana, right? Because TLC wanted a Cuban sandwich.
What's that guy's name?
Yeah, and the reason I'm telling y'all this is because we were at the bar. We were there a while. And these ladies came in and man, they saw us having fun. What y'all down here for? Oh, it's my boy's birthday, blah, 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 blah. And one of the ladies looked at me and was like, you talk a lot of trash. You talk a lot of trash. I bet you the main one to hit it don't have nothing. What you bring to the table? I said the table. Right? Like I ain't bringing the table. What else you want me to say? Couldn't say nothing else after that. And TLC and who was with us just started laughing. But you see that whole point of what you bring to the table. And now you got to understand, if I say the table, you ain't been trained on how to deal with somebody who bring the table. Now you going to run this man off because you don't understand. Here's what happened. This man has no interest in you because you can't answer the question. The man had no interest in you in the first place, but because you decided to invoke yourself in a conversation that was happening amongst boys, who've been down at TLC, how many Cuban sandwiches we have and how many mojitos we have by that time. And we like, man, look, let's get the hell up out of Little Havana. But that's what happened, guys. You don't seek to learn. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand before you seek to be understood. Hey, man, why y'all down here? What y'all got going on, man? Y'all look like y'all having fun. Tell me a little bit more about what you do, what you trying to accomplish. Because women are running men off not because of anything physical. It's because of everything verbal. It's because of everything mental. The mindset is flawed and the language is flawed. And guys are very simple. Just ask a guy, what is he trying to accomplish in life? He can't answer it, move on. But don't try to say, well, I can help you. I can help you. I'm gonna put you on the altar. Right? I'm gonna pray over you. I'm gonna do some daily confessions over you. I'm gonna do my 365 devotional over you. That ain't what a man. If he ain't doing it for you, you're not the one. But y'all got off on the wrong foot. This is all I'm trying to tell y'all, which is I want to go because TLC, you hit it on the head. You got women trying to be guys and guys trying to be women, and now the woman's running people off because you got a role reversal, or either she's trying to be the man's parent, right? Women have children, and all of a sudden they believe because they can lord over the children, they're gonna lord over the person who gave them the children. Right? They're going to lord over the person who gave them the children. Life starts where? With the man. Life starts with the man. I'm going there, Jay. You know, I got to give y'all my scripture for the day. I got to give y'all my scripture for the day. In the book of Jeremiah, go read it. Go Google it. before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. So before you came into your mother's womb, where were you at?
And somebody.
And you better. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is this: this ain't a polarizing topic. Why do women run men off? Why do women run men off? You don't know what your value is. You don't know what your role is. You don't know what you're supposed to be compatible with. And that's where a lot of people struggle. Like, okay, what am I good at? The reason why you're good at your job, they have laid out exactly what the job description is, but we don't do that in relationships. What's the relationship description? What is your role in here? And this is what you're gonna get. Rhonda, you brought up something earlier. The housewife, the most important one. The housewife is the most important one. You ever get to a point where there's one person who stays at home and doesn't work? That's the hardest thing to manage. That is the hardest thing to manage, because at the end of the day, that's your domain. You can't blame it on nobody else. But what I'm trying to tell y'all right now, and Jay, I want you to jump in there, TLC, then we'll come to Rhonda. These people are trying to put demands on people they don't put on themselves. You trying to make somebody else do something you won't do yourself. So a lot of times a woman is running a man off because they won't look intrinsically or internally so they can understand something else externally. Go ahead, Jay, jump in there. Let me know what you think. And then TLC, we're going to come to you, then Rhonda come to you.
Yeah, before I jump in, to go back to the word that I was thinking of is fans. I wasn't her fan. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't believe I didn't think about that. But, I'm not a fan. I was your man. But regardless of the case, I'm a firm believer of how you reel me in is how you should keep me. So whatever you did beforehand to get me to gravitate towards you, or to allow me to say, I'm very intrigued in this individual. I want to get to know. I want her to be by my side, or vice versa. Don't change up. You know how in some relationships you go ahead and get reeled in from what they do for you in the beginning. As soon as they got you, they just change up all of a sudden. Like, wait a minute, where you did this before? Why are you doing it now?
You go get your iPhone. Somebody got it for free if they're a new customer, but you go get your iPhone at $800. What the hell? What the heck? Yeah.
It's like it just comes to the point where, like, you reel me in, and now I gotta ask for it. Before I didn't have to ask for nothing.
Stop right there, Jay. Ooh, you just preach. You reel me in. You reeled me in. In order to go fishing, you got to use bait. Now, the fish think he just eating something. The fish think he eating something that's naturally down there. Well, you reeled me in, and when I get on that boat, I start flopping around. I'm out of my environment. You reeled me in and took me out of my environment, TLC, and now I'm flapping around the boat. And who got control of me if I'm in the boat?
No.
The person
who reeled you in.
The person who reeled you in. I was TLC. Right, you don't like that one? You don't like that? You don't like Look, if you want to go fishing, you got to have some bait that's going to be a decoy. And men don't realize they're hunters when they leave their house. They're hunters when they leave their house. They're prey when they come into it. And what y'all got to understand is that the best thing about people who are rooted in deception, they know your decoy. If you go duck hunting, we used to all have a movie. We used to all have a video game, Duck Hunt, on Nintendo. What you got to do, right? But you providing a decoy. You provide a decoy to get them ducks out, and you send the dog out there. Because I like what Jay said. I'm reeling you in. Reeling you in means you operating in deception. Because I'm saying what you want to hear, knowing I have the intention to change it up on you once you get on this boat.
Right.
Once
and again, that's just somebody. That's not everybody. It's some people. That's not everybody. Because again, some people, they reel you in. And again, yeah, I get reeled into somebody else's way of being or deception of who they are. But at the same time, I'm still in control of my own self. I'm still in control of who I choose to be around, or if I want to continue with this individual. Like, prime example, J-Lo. J-Lo has a song, "Love Don't Cost a Thing," right? And I'm a firm believer with her, because at the end of the day, she ended up dating someone who was her dancer, who didn't have nothing to bring to the table. She said, "I don't need your money, I got my own."
And then divorced.
But then at the same time, what happened for him to be out the door? You know what I'm saying? What did he do that he was kicked to the curb? So
He wanted her to stop being J-Lo and be his girl. And what she done, nah, bro, if you want me to do that, how you gonna make the money to give me my lifestyle, to keep my lifestyle going?
exactly.
You see what I'm saying? That's the whole point. TLC, jump in there, let me know what you're thinking.
We were talking about reeling people in, and it just made this little thought pop in my head. It's like, when you first meet a person, you're kind of interacting, not all the time, but a lot of the times with that one person. So you're getting to know that one person. And then sometimes it kind of branches out. You get to know their friends and their people. And, it's summertime now. Things are warming up. Maybe I like this person, but I don't want to go to your cookout. I don't want to be around your people. Sometimes being around other people's people pushes people away. Like,
oh yeah.
But TLC, let's do this though. Deception only exists in the wrong environment. If I find myself lost, I start hanging out in places where other lost people are. But there's a few people in those lost environments who know how to take advantage of lost people. And a lot of the stories we talking about is because we're talking about our lost days. But now you ain't lost like that. We didn't all had to learn through failure. We ain't learned through advice, right? We all learned through hitting rock bottom. And when you look back on the hindsight is what? 2020. So now all of a sudden I realized I was lost and I was going to the lost places. Now that I found myself, man, I'm having fun. JL see me out, man, and he'll see us out. And one of the things that always get told to me is what, man, stop talking to Jeff like that. He ain't nobody. And I just started laughing. Right? Because you out on the grand scheme of things, I ain't nobody. But it's cool. Every time my wife says it, I just start laughing because when you are, I gotta make sure that I stay focused. You gotta make sure that you stay focused. So telling me ain't nobody is stay focused. Don't get caught up in the approval of man, right? Don't get caught up in the approval of man because that's how most people lose their harvest. But I'm glad you said that. But I want everybody to understand a lot of relationships fail. The reason why a lot of women are running men off, they're the right person in their environment. You were the wrong person that came into their environment. And they knew it, you didn't. When you're broken and when you're lost and you start looking for people in your brokenness and your loss, you're going to end up getting the wrong person. They out there throwing a decoy. You thought it was real. But what makes a decoy is it look real. Rhonda, jump in there, let me know what you're thinking.
But then that's when you have to dress it up into something that is not, right? You got to keep up that facade because now you have exposed this relationship as this great thing. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, women are looking for security and providers and things like that. And so, yeah, if they see a man that's doing well for himself and he's handling his business and things look good and all of that, yeah, it may be harder for you to get rid of that woman. They may, or female, they may be clingy, they may be ready.
But you ain't trying to get rid of that woman. You ain't the woman who understands what you are. You ain't trying to get rid of her. But she can have all the flaws in the world.
Be a decoy.
Now, yeah, if I'm in the wrong environment, absolutely.
And sometimes that can be what happens with, like just when the woman is running the guy off because you have figured out she's the decoy, but she's thinking like, oh, I'm still the one for you. Like I could still, everybody has somebody that could always come back in their life if they admit. There's always somebody you could call. Absolutely. You know what? I'm having a low moment.
Yeah, that's the worst call. That's the worst call. Somebody that hey stranger text from somebody from your past, you better block them. You don't take right. I'm almost finished his lame ass podcast. Come on through. But yeah, that's why I look at I'm enjoying life so much. Y'all check out our cigar reviews, man, ski trips, all this kind of stuff, because what happens is that you don't have to run a man off. If you understand what the man is trying to accomplish, the relationship becomes easy. Now, what y'all are running into are men who you want to try to tell what they should be accomplished instead of understanding what their true purpose is and that kind of thing. And let's be honest, guys, everybody don't have a purpose. We need to stop lying to people, telling them they got a purpose. God ain't got a plan for everybody. That's why the scriptures say, whosoever will, let them come. Many are called, chosen a few. He ain't told you everybody. He ain't told you everybody was going to be good. Some of y'all going to be losers. Because the only way they can be winners is they're going to be losers. And one of the things, we've all on this panel went through our loser phase, right? Now you want to go through your winner phase. And I think that one of the things when we talk about women running men off, and now when we do the next one that says, why do men run women off? Everybody thinking, well, it's got to be the same thing. No, it's not. Men run women off completely different than how women run men off. Men are simplistic and women make things complex. Women make things complex. If you ever ask a woman why she left a man, get ready to be there for a while. If you ask a dude why he left a woman, it's one sentence.
Yes.
Man, that bitch crazy. Right? Like that's it. And you already know, ain't gonna be no story after that. Cause what you gonna tell him, man? I told you that a long time ago. Right? But when two dudes are talking about why they left a woman, the one dude gonna say, man, she crazy. And your girl gonna say, man, I already knew it a long time ago. I was just waiting for you to come to your senses. Now let's go get up on the hoes. Right? Like this is, and women got to understand, don't be mad when you leave a guy and he ain't missing you. Guys are just different. And one of the things you guys are going to find is that when we look at this scenario and when we look at this scenario, why women run men off, there's no such thing as a bad woman, no such thing as a bad man. What it is bad goals, bad aspirations, bad compatibility, wrong environment, right person, wrong time, right person. All these kind of things, guys, it's got to be compatible. Big J, what's your closing statement for the night? What's that one reason you think women are running men off, and TLC, we going to come to you, and Rhonda, we going to come to you, we going to finish this thing out?
Well, my closing statement is pretty much, just like you said, men are simple. The women that are out there that's listening, we are super simple. It just comes to just a couple of things. Do whatever you do. Keep doing whatever you did to reel someone in. Never change. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, all us men, we love peace, food to eat, and some whoop-de-whoop. That's it. We are just that simple.
Name. It ain't going to be Big J the Barber no more. It's just going to be whoop-de-whoop in there. Right there.
It's just that simple. All we like to do, we men, all the men that I speak to and that I know, we just say we love our peace. We rather have peace than anything else.
That's it.
So if a woman could bring us peace, food to eat, and some whoop-de-whoop, we there.
All right, Big J done froze up a little bit, boy. You were preaching. Somebody pulled that mic out. TLC.
I hope you heard what I said because it was good.
We'll hear it on the recording, but we hear it on the recording. Yeah. TLC, jumping.
No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
All of a sudden, Big J Spectrum Internet went out for a second. He was preaching the gospel. And look, Satan come immediately to steal that word, don't he? Satan come immediately. TLC, jump in there. Let me know what you think.
I think it comes down to communication overall. When you look down on your phone, or if you think about it, when you call this person, are they happy to get your call, or are they miserable? If they're not happy hearing from you, you got to really look at yourself and say, what is it that I'm doing that's causing that to happen? But I think it breaks down to communication.
Okay, all right, Rhonda. What's your number one reason, man? What's your final thought?
If a woman is running a man off, we got to see what that man is doing. Back.
That's the next podcast.
That's what I call this call.
Rhonda transitioning into the next podcast already. We gonna do my final thought is, Jay. I'm a piggyback off of something. A man does not. Y'all got to understand. Don't confuse outward physical acts with what a man is going through. Jay said a man wants peace. I'm gonna take it a step further. A man wants submission, and not submission in the sense, if you can submit to somebody, it's because you understand dominance. If you can submit to somebody, it's because you dominant too, but you making the smart choice to submit to this dominant person. When I meet people, I try to hang out in the room of lions. People ask me, Jeff, why do you want to hang out in a room of lions? I always got taught I'm a lion tamer. And what a lot of people don't understand, I ain't trying to stop you from being a lion. But the lion tamer gets the most out of the lion. And a lot of people, when you get with a person, what a person is looking for, Jay said peace. I'm just taking it a step further. What they really want is submission. Submission is not a bad thing. People gave it a bad word, but submission means complete understanding. Complete understanding of your will and your way. I vow to you, right? I'm coming to you because what I realize is that my goals are tied to your goals. And I'll keep saying this. And even though we were talking about why women run men off, it's a big deal that I got Jay on this podcast, because Jay said something to me that a lot of people won't say, and TLC has said it too. Jeff, you done already worked out everything. I'm gonna get with y'all. He ain't less dominant. TLC ain't less dominant. Rhonda ain't less dominant. They could do this. They could do the same thing themselves. But I'm gonna partner with you. I'm gonna link up with you. Submission means we linking up. Submission doesn't mean I'm over top of everybody. And again, a lot of people don't understand the reason why women are running men off is they don't want to link up anymore. They want to dominate. And they want to dominate by any means necessary. And when you start thinking about why women are running men off in relationships, it is trying to do it for the gram. Trying to do it because social media is my main piece and my relationship has become my side piece. And that's where a lot of people are struggling because a lot of the reasons that women are trying to treat these men like this so they can go get likes. You hear them on social media. Everything is being run by social media. And if you can't keep that person off social media, it's going to be hard to have that person link up with you to go to the next level, man. And y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. Right? You like that transition? Time to close it down. We got an hour. We got an hour ahead to close. I said, oh, God. I said, we over an hour. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all do me a favor. Look below in the description. Get the merch, support the channel. Like I said, I need 1,000 people. I need 1,000 people to order a shirt, man. 1,000 people get $10 on PayPal. We're going to get us a director. We're going to get us a videographer. We're going to take this thing to the next level. Big J sent me some stuff today. I said, God, dog, I got to sell a lot of shirts to get that. Jay sent me a whole setup. I said, y'all better get on this guy. So we got to sell a lot of shirts to get that. And man, look, I got to thank my panel. Big J, tell them where they can find you at on the socials.
Big J the Barber, Instagram, YouTube.
All right, TLC, man, appreciate you being on the panel, man. Where can
On
they find you
Instagram,
at?
TL Clayton, #1.
Rhonda, where can they find you at?
LMBT on IG.
And y'all know I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, you on YouTube right now, man. Y'all go ahead. If you ain't hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on that bell for notifications. And man, send this to your losers in your life because they need to hear why they running people off. Y'all tired of talking to them. They don't want to hear it from you. I did another video called A Message or the Messenger. Go look at it because some people don't want to hear it from you. They need to hear it from some other people because they done already determined you don't know nothing. So send this video to all the losers in your life who keep running people off. And until next time, we gonna holler. TLC, yeah.
It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is.
Yes.
Like and subscribe to.
Ha 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 ha.